Hello, hi. Today we're gonna make Banh Canh, which is Vietnamese shrimp and pork noodles. Ooh, look at that! Fall off the bone, tender. Ow. Which is Vietnamese shrimp and pork noodle soup. Disclaimer: this is not how it's usually made. My broth is a little bit darker than usual, but it passes the Vietnamese immigrant mother taste test, so I shall pass my knowledge on to you. But the first thing we want to do is clean our pork. Here I have 2 pounds of pork bones and 3 pounds of pork spare ribs. You can substitute for beef or chicken, but you want to place this into a large enough pot filled with water. Turn on your heat to high and bring this to a boil. As soon as it starts to boil, turn off your heat and allow your pork to sit in the hot water for 5 minutes. Rinse and wash under cold water. Make sure to use your fingers to scrub off any scum or bone fragment. Before you handle this, be careful. It will be hot, but for the bones, I'm using my thumbs to scrub the nooks and crannies to get out any bone fragments or scum. The spare ribs are a little bit easier to handle because there's not that many nooks and crannies, but again, you want to scrub using your thumb to get rid of any bone fragments or scum. Give the cartilage area extra TLC because that's where most of the gunk gets stuck or hidden. While you are waiting for your water to boil, mince 1 bulb of garlic and 2 shallots. So I don't know about you guys, but when I'm cutting shallots or onions, my eyes water. So what I do is I take a paper towel, I wet it, and I leave it on my cutting board. This trick works great for me and I actually learned it on TikTok, so if you give this a try, leave a comment down below and let me know if this is a kitchen hack or a kitchen fail for you. You will also need 4 ounces of ginger cut into thin slices. If you don't have a food scale, then you can just eyeball it and cut out 6 slices of ginger. Just a tip, ginger itself doesn't have a flat surface, so I recommend cutting off one side so you have a base and then cutting your slices from there. The last ingredient you need to prep is your lemongrass. This is my sister helping me. I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was tending to my son, but you need 1 or 2 lemongrass stalks. If you like lemongrass, do 2. If not, then do 1. The way I prep lemongrass is I peel the first few outer layers. Then at the base, I beat it with a mallet. You can also use the spine of your knife. With lemongrass, the majority of the flavoring and smell lays at the base, so I cut off the leafy ends and discard that. Now that we have everything prepped, we're going to start cooking. On your Instant Pot, we're going to select saute mode and then heat up some oil. Once your oil gets hot, add your garlic and shallots. Saute this for a couple minutes or until she becomes fragrant. Next, we're going to add our pork bones and spare ribs and cook this for a couple of minutes. I did do the honors of cutting my spare ribs in between the bones, so you can go ahead and do the same thing before tossing them in. Add 4 quarts of water. One to 2 lemongrass stalks cut 3 inches wide. 1 yellow onion cut in half. 4 ounces of ginger slices, put the lid on and make sure your vent is sealed. Switch to manual mode. For some of you, it might say pressure cook, and we're going to pressure cook this on high for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes of cook time, you're going to NPR for 30 minutes and then QR. Your broth will look something like this. You can discard everything inside except for your pork spare ribs. For the pork spare ribs, I still take them out, but I leave them in a container separate from the broth. Pour this broth through a fine strainer. Switch to stovetop method, bring this to a boil, reduce your heat to a low simmer before seasoning to your preference. These are the noodles I used, Banh Canh noodles, which is another form of rice noodles.